Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time now, and that of course is my very own Wixo series. Now a lot of different people have been following on this kind of series recently, since Adis Pro started doing it, and I feel like it is definitely overused at this point, but I also can't help myself, like, I gotta make my own. If everyone else is doing it, I gotta do it. And yeah, bandwagon, whatever it's called. And yeah, I feel left out, so I'm going to be doing my very own Wixo series here. And yeah, might as well jump right on into it. Now, where could this start? It could start anywhere, maybe except for any Pacific island, because if it were any Pacific island, then humanity would probably be stuck for a very long time, so we're not going to do that. So, more preferably, we could go in Europe, Middle East, Asia, many different places in Asia. We could go Southeast Asia, East Asia, India. We could go anywhere in Africa, but I I honestly don't know. In the Americas, we could go in many places, but I feel like that's a little more restrictive because we want to allude to history in a way. So I feel like the best basis to go off of is starting off similarly to how Adis Pro started his own, and we're going to be starting this series over here in the Mesopotamian region, which is definitely a very important region in Adis Pro's Wixo scenarios. So I'm going to be trying to bring less attention to Mesopotamia and more so focus on different areas of the world. Mesopotamia is not going to be the quote unquote main character of this series, and I honestly might get rid of the red team I'm about to create here. And first difference we're going to see is that we're going to see this civilization starting up here in Anatolia, which is a little bit of a difference. It's not too big of a difference because in Adis Pro's main series, it started down here in Oman, then they moved over here to Mesopotamia. So we're probably going to see a similar thing happening here where they move into this region here. Also, I do have unexplored oceans and unexplored land on, so we're going to be able to see how much land each area has explored and how much of the water they have explored as well. So that will show their progress towards discovering things like America. America's probably going to be like, oh, they know what this is, and then some random guy's just going to go, oh, here, they're in Florida now. So, yeah, it's going to be something like that. Anyways, right back on over to the new Anatolian country. We're going to go ahead and see exactly what I was just talking about, as this country will go ahead and begin to explore outward. Now, we could allude to human history and have multiple civilizations appearing at the same time across the entire world, but I feel as if the way Aegis Pro does it is a little better. It feels more controlled. I feel like I have a better grasp on being able to do it. And I also feel as though that if I had too many countries in different areas, say there were ones in the Americas, ones over here in Africa, and over here in Asia, then it'd be hard to focus on one singular country. So yeah, we're just gonna stick with the one, and it's just gonna disperse out, similar to Ada's first series. So, yeah, let's continue on this exploration. We're gonna see the red team exploring down here into the Sinai Peninsula, and this is where we're gonna see them discovering their first area that they're pretty interested in, and that is the Egyptian area. And they're gonna go ahead and begin to explore this region here. And yeah, this region will become kind of important in this country. They're gonna value this Egyptian land down here, but so will they in valuing this Fertile Crescent region over here, as they're gonna go ahead and begin to push towards what they believe is to be paradise. These people are a little gullible to the people that find themselves leading, but eventually we see them reaching the Mesopotamian heartland. And from here, we're going to see them kind of just exploring this area. And eventually, they're going to make their way all the way down to the Kuwait area and the Persian Gulf. Now, the expansion of this red country is probably going to look a little similar to their exploration. They're probably going to expand along this coastline here at first, and then after that, they probably go ahead and begin to expand southward along the Mediterranean coast here into Lebanon and whatnot. And before you know it, they are encompassing a very large part of the coastline here. And I'm also going to, of course, include colored coastlines so we know what they have explored. And I have the coastline a little darker, so it is a little more visible this way. And based off of this, we can, of course, see what islands have been discovered and whatnot. And up here, they've explored a little bit, but they haven't explored the land here. These guys are not very keen on exploring up north. Did I use that word correctly? I don't know if I did, but I might have. And yeah, we're gonna see these guys kind of exploring the water, but they're not focused on it. They're mostly focused on exploring, I guess, what they believe to be the perfect place to live. Obviously, looking at this map, I don't think Mesopotamia would be the perfect place to set up, but it's better than nothing, if I'm going to be honest. So, yeah, we're going to continue to see these guys exploring around these areas. And the exploration will first come in the Sinai Peninsula, as this thing's going to be fully uncovered. As well as this, they will continue to explore down the Suez, the Nile, and yeah, at this point, Egypt has been, I guess, most of its valuable area has been explored. We're gonna go ahead and see the red team going ahead and expanding down into this area, and they're gonna go ahead and establish, I guess, a very large populous area in northern Egypt. Now these guys are looking pretty ginormous, so let's make them not ginormous. And you know this area they just took over? Turns out these guys they don't really like you anymore. The red team is kind of operating out of Anatolia, and these guys they're all the way down in Egypt. Vastly different terrain, geography, everything, biomes. This is, I believe, like a I believe it's still a desert in this northern area, but it just has rivers flowing through it and it has a little bit of vegetation around that. But I honestly don't know. But we do see the blue country gaining its independence, I guess. And we're going to see them expanding around the bases that the red team built them. And yeah, from here we're going to see the red team now beginning to attempt to expand elsewhere because they believe, oh, it's going to be closer to our heartland, so we're going to be able to control it a lot better. So might as well explore up into the Anatolian area. And yeah, they're going to do that. And at this point, they're going to go ahead and take all these islands and expand over here into Istanbul. But yeah, this red country is very expansionist, and they've already expanded more than the entire Egyptian country has in less time. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. And that is not looking too good. We're gonna see a yellow country breaking away from the red team, and at this point, we're gonna see this yellow country saying, "You know what? Screw you. We're gonna go ahead and cross the Bosphorus. One of these is the Bosphorus. I don't know which one it is, and I don't really think it matters that I know because that's probably the only time that's ever going to be mentioned here. So yeah, we're gonna see yellow, this new yellow country. They're gonna be expanding over here into now the Balkan area of Europe, and at this point, they've already entered into 3 different continents, and we only have 3 civilizations. It's like we have one per continent. Anyways, we head back over to this red team because it appears they have not learned their lesson and they're just expanding. They're gonna go ahead and expand into Mesopotamia, but something is different this time. They are able to consolidate themselves in this region, and after a little bit, they're gonna begin to explore outward again into this deserty kind of area. I don't know much about the geography of Mesopotamia itself, but I know it has two rivers, and that's about it. From here, we're gonna see the red team is, of course, exploring a lot, and they're gonna make their way all the way up to this Azerbaijan area. They're also going to explore the rest of Anatolia, which is kind of weird because they just lost that territory. So, yeah, we're gonna see that happen. From here, we head down to the south where they will continue exploring here. They don't really care about these regions, they just want to know what's down here. And yeah, at this point, we're going to see the red team once again expanding as they will go ahead and encompass, I think, all of Mesopotamia. I could be wrong. But yeah, they're going to expand vastly. Their empire is once again growing. And yeah, the red team is looking pretty massive. And this time, they aren't as unstable. And at this point, we're going to head over to the yellow country because they are once again on their quest to expand. And they will be moving through Greece and they will be doing exactly that as they will now explore the coast of Dalmatia and they're going to make their way all the way over to Venice, or I guess the Venetian area. And they're going to say, this, this is where we want to be. They also explore up into Romania, but they don't make it too far because this area they don't really see as much potential in. So, yeah, they're just going to follow the Mediterranean for now, and they will be expanding into Greece, then into Albania and Macedonia. Then they will expand along this very short area of coastline that they explored, and then they will be attempting to make their way into the Italian peninsula, which they will eventually do. But at this point, they are a very vast country, and they're probably going to break into multiple pieces, so they're going to have to stop. And so they're going to focus on their exploration for a little bit, as they're going to explore around their territory now. They also will explore and meet the little bay that's right here. It might be called the Bay of like I think it starts with an L, but if I say anything, I'm gonna get it wrong, so I'm not saying anything. But yeah, the entire Italian peninsula hasn't been explored yet, but they want to be in the Italian peninsula basically. Now heading back to the red team, they're not doing all too well. They have been focused on exploring, particularly out into the water, but they've already expanded a lot in this series. They have literally owned all this, and what they have now. So, yeah, they have to be unstable in some way, shape, or form. So, we're gonna see them, of course, exploring out into these waters. And let me very quickly update the waters around the yellow team. This shouldn't take all too long because the yellow team has definitely been focusing on their water exploration. And yeah, I think that is all. But yeah, we're gonna see the red team exploring the land here as well. They're gonna explore into southern Persia, into parts of Central Asia, only this small Turkmenistan area though. They also explore into a small part of Azerbaijan, more of this northern area, and they also, most notably, will explore to the south, which they kind of undervalued earlier, but yeah, they're still gonna say, you know what, we don't care about this land. We're gonna go ahead and expand into the areas we believe we will need the most. And that area is gonna be over here in Persia, as they're gonna go ahead and claim this chunk of land here. As well as this, they're gonna go ahead and claim this land up here, meeting up with the Caspian Sea. And at this point, once again, the red team is very vast and they are stretched from their origin. What happens when they do that? Well, we see a little bit of a rebellion happening over here in Persia. And this rebellion is kind of unnoticed, but the red team will kind of be like, okay, we're going to get back at you. And this is like the only time they really say this. They don't really care about the blue team or yellow team really leaving them in the grand scheme of things. But the green team is the first one that really hits them home because the red team kind of wanted this region really badly because they see, once again, potential in it. They don't know what the rest of the world's looking like. They don't see much potential up here in Europe. They don't see much potential in Africa or in the rest of Arabia. So they wanted to expand into Persia in hopes of, I guess, getting a larger opportunity of expansion later on, which, I mean, largest continent in the world over here, they probably would have. So, yeah, the green team's going to put a stop to that. And the red team is going to, I guess, promise vengeance against the green team. But for now, we're going to head away from the red team and look at the blue team because the blue team has been doing quite a lot. First of all, they've explored a lot of the northern coast of Africa as well as the eastern coast. Almost called it the western coast there. But yeah, we see the Egyptians doing a lot. And they've also been exploring the Nile kind of area here. Not all too much because I don't have a rivers layer and I don't know exactly where the Nile flows. So we're kind of just going to see the Egyptians expanding down into that. I once again, don't know where the Nile flows exactly, so we're just gonna see these guys expanding. And these guys, they do it a lot better than the red team and yellow team have been doing. They are able to consolidate the control in the region because the region is pretty fond of them. They, I guess, see the Egyptians in a good light because they, in a way, stopped the expansionist red team, which they possibly deemed as a threat to their existence, and so these people are pretty, I guess, happy to be a part of the blue team. So, yeah, we're going to see the blue team being pretty unopposed in their expansion. And the red team is going to kind of look at this and they're going to kind of see it in the same light as they saw the breaking away of the green team. And remember that these guys saw not only Mesopotamia as a promising piece of land, but they also saw Egypt as a promising piece of land, at least the northern part of it. Now that a little more is explored, they don't see as much promise in it, but they believe that Egypt will be of value for them. They believe they need Egypt for their grand empire. And yeah, they might be trying to take that back sometime in the future. But we head back to the yellow team, who is expanding again. This is a very dangerous move because you're expanding into land you don't necessarily have explored, and that is never a good thing. But I mean, now you have Sicily explored, okay, and now you're exploring down over this way, and nope, there's Catalonia, and yeah, they're gonna go ahead and begin to expand again, and that is when this happens. A purple country will break away from the yellow team, which will effectively halt their expansion. But these guys are a little hypocritical, and they're going to expand immediately after getting independence. This is kind of a common trend. The only one who hasn't really done this is the green team over here in Persia. So yeah, you're a hypocrite, purple country, but they do not care. They're exploring into Iberia now, and they're gonna go ahead and take over this coastline. Would it be called taking? I guess it would be called taking over. And yeah, I hate how these countries look right now, but that does not matter because we are heading over to the green team, who I just mentioned hadn't expanded, but now they will be doing exactly that, as they have gone ahead and explored around them. That was their initial goal, and now they will be expanding into this newly explored land. They want to get away from the red team. That's another common trend. Most countries are not very fond of the red team. And yeah, the red team kind of takes personal offense to this. And yeah, we'll see how that will be playing out very soon. But for now, this episode is over. And I do want to say that this series is something I have done for myself for a while. I've had multiple Wixos before, none that I recorded or uploaded. But I feel like now that I am recording this one, it has a lot of potential to become something. And once again, I'm not going to be focusing this around Mesopotamia, so you don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, that's going to do it once again, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. The last video I uploaded, it was really long, and it didn't perform as I hoped it would. So I'm hoping that this one does a little better because I want to do this series and I don't want to be prohibited from doing that based off a video's performance. I just want to do what I want to do. So yeah. Also, for whenever I do stream here on YouTube. I stream YouTube Shorts. It's not the best, and of course, it's a vertical output. So follow me on Twitch. It'll probably be linked in the description. And I think that's all I have to say. I might be missing something. Oh yeah, subscribe. I don't like saying this, but like I wanna be able to do content creation. That's always been a dream of mine, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say subscribe. I mean, I don't know how many subscribers I get per video. I think I'm a net loss, honestly, but I don't like having to say subscribe because it feels, in a way, to me, greedy. And yeah, I feel like if you watch to the end of the video, that should be something you should do. You should subscribe. I also care about likes, so do that as well. And I'm gonna stop yapping now because I have this video to edit. I also have the Piggy update that I'm hopefully gonna stream today. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you did watch, of course. I know most people don't watch the end of these videos. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna not yap. And yeah, bye.